Hi, my name is Ian Wheatley. I'm a realtor in New York State, and we're going to be discussing why interest rates are going down. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. You're seeing this because either you stumbled upon it on one of my platforms, or more than likely one of my partners at eXp Realty has shared it with you. And right now we're dealing with one, maybe two indirectly, of what I'm calling the three I's of real estate for 2023. That's interest rates, inventory, and indecision. No particular order there. But, based on the latest data, it is safe to say that interest rates are on the decline generally. I imagine that as indecision or uncertainty leaves the market broadly, volatility will continue to fall, and that's going to lead to improving interest rates for buyers. And if you're one of my clients, you have heard about already the correlation and the relationship between the mortgage interest rates and the 10-year treasury yield. So for the purposes of this video, what you really just need to know is that for half a century, maybe even longer than that, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate and the 10-year treasury yield have moved together. The average spread between these two numbers has been 1.7 points. Sometimes the spread is tighter, but recently the spread has been wider and wider. And why is that? That has to do with fear, panic, uncertainty, what economists often call volatility. But as the broader market has settled down and as inflation has cooled, and as buyers maybe have forgotten that the interest rate has doubled in the last year, and maybe they start to realize that historically speaking, the interest rates today are pretty good, and we're really not that far away from where we've been recently. Maybe we could be back there by the end of the year. So as buyers' expectations recalibrate to this market, volatility has softened a little bit, in a nutshell. So as we look at volatility, we measure that by the separation between the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate and the 10-year treasury yield. Okay. And so what has happened over the last year or so is that the interest rates shot up, but the 10-year treasury yield didn't quite follow at that same trajectory. It went up, but not as much. And that's why we started to see the interest rates climbing well past 7%. It wasn't so much the Federal Reserve raising the base interest rate, it was the market's reaction to it. And quite possibly, it was a little bit of an overreaction. So where are we going? And I guess why aren't we there yet? The good news is, as we came into this year, we started to see after November, that's the peak you see. In November, panic started to subside in the marketplace, which is good. But what we do see is, as we're looking at that separation, again, this is a graph that's showing just the separation between the 30-year fixed mortgage rate and the 10-year treasury yield. As we were coming into this year, they were following along fairly near that historic average. And then as mortgage rates started to precipitously rise, so did that separation between those two numbers. But even though we've gotten a little bit better, we're still about a whole percentage point higher than where we historically have been. So at the onset of all of this, I had said that interest rates are improving, and that in spite of the Federal Reserve continuing to raise the prime interest rates for the foreseeable future, there is room for the 10-year treasury yield to move toward the current interest rates. And that's really ultimately why I agree with the economists that say that interest rates are going to, at least at worst, they are going to remain stable in this low 6% range through the end of the year. But in all likelihood, could be returning to that mid 5% range by year's end. I think any economist that says that 5.2 is foreseeable, I think that might be a little bit aggressive. I think a full point move from today's rate is ambitious without some broader change in the marketplace. And as we're dealing with those three I's, indecision, interest rates, and inventory, I hope those first two, indecision and interest rates, I've been able to help you with. And if this has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe this video. I will be covering more content like this. I will be taking a look in the next video that I do about home values and property prices and why many banks that have been forecasting for 2023 major depreciation we're into February and they're already revising their forecast, and some are starting to show some appreciation. So like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.